With those studies, obviously we've learned a lot about breast cancer, and one of the things that rings true for certain types of breast cancer, and I think the majority of them would say that the longer you're exposed to estrogen continuously, the higher your risk for developing breast cancer. Is that a true statement? And then is it something that is added to by these women who are taking these supplements that aren't really human type supplements?
Well, that's a very complex question to answer. Again, what is the relationship between estrogen? And I will point out again, there's no compound called estrogen. Humans have three estrogens, E1, E2, and E3, estrone, O-N-E, estradiol, and estriol. They don't have equilin, they don't have provera, they don't have synthetic progestins. These have been introduced in mass amounts to millions and millions of women who are now analyzing as far as risk of breast cancer. So what we're saying here is that we don't know whether there are, just like in many classes of drugs, there's safer forms, and we're hoping that there may be safer forms as far as breast cancer is concerned versus, and then to allow for the benefits to occur. But the thing about the epidemiology of hormones in breast cancer, the Canadian Gynecological Association did a massive review of the world's literature, and they listed, what are the major causes, the major risks of breast cancer. And they took all studies relating to all sorts of estrogens, and their analysis was that if there was a risk relating to estrogen, it was a small risk at best. But there were many other items, such as excessive alcohol, diabetes, obesity, that far in excess was greater as far as the risk of breast cancer. So, we're worried about the effect of estrogen in breast cancer, but there's a lot of other things that are far more important.
A lot of carcinogens in our environment that we certainly know about or suspect, but we focus on the things that we get fed to us through the media, and even if those kinds of effects are fairly small in the grand scheme of things, they seem very real when you read them in the newspaper, and you get a lot of response to them.
I know Leon Spiroff is well known to most of the gynecology community, and he shows up at the North American Menopause Society every year, and he's written a lot on breast cancer. He edits the most widely read textbook of endocrinology and gynecology, and he himself has focused more on the synthetic progestins recently as a cause of breast cancer. But he points out each year that there's still an ongoing study down at, I think it's MD Anderson, where women who've actually had breast cancer, who have positive estrogen receptors, which is usually one of the reasons why they give you all the anti-estrogens, that there's a study giving those women estrogen, and that study is still going on. It has not been stopped. So there are a few of these studies that actually seem to contradict our knowledge. Now, please don't take this as a go-ahead to start taking estrogen while you're having breast cancer. I don't think any mainstream doctor would do that. But I still think there's a lot more to this than just reflexively saying estrogen, breast cancer. I just don't think it's that simple.